we've spent a lot of time watching the birds on our other show at the sanctuary, and we're rejoining them now for part 2. That is a beautiful bird. Actually, they're all beautiful.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Superbooks Show at the Theodore Roosevelt Bird Sanctuary. Write to superbooks7@yahoo.com for information about the show. We're out in Long Island at the Bird Sanctuary, the Nature Sanctuary. These are where some of the birds are housed. And they're going to be bringing out more birds soon. And so this is where he is when he's not being on display.
Female.
It's one of the oldest states.
Is this a male or female?
It's privately
Male.
owned. A couple of
In birds of prey, the males are much smaller than the females.
Are
Yeah,
smaller?
Yeah, females are larger and more powerful.
No, it's just his face.
Look at those talons.
Oh, whoa! Look at his mouth. Now what he?
He would try to take a nip. His talons, I'm more worried about the
Look
talons.
at that hand.
Yeah, I've had them leave marks through the gloves.
You could squeeze with
Yeah.
over 200 pounds of pressure with their talons. So
Wow.
they could really do some damage.
And what about the mouth, the beak?
It's very strong. It'll rip your skin open.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's pretty friendly. Another great horn we have would definitely bite our skin.
Look at that face. Look at that face. His funny face. Doesn't want to look at anyone.
He's about 5 years old. We've had him here since he was less than a year old. He
Does
actually
also have a cataract or?
no, he has actually head trauma. So he first he was imprinted and then he hit his head at some point. So he's a little slow, basically. He's very friendly.
special.
Now we know.
How you doing, buddy?
Okay, so what's the name of this bird again?
This is a great horned owl.
Great
Great
horned
horned
owl.
owl.
Okay.
Great or gray?
Great.
Great horned owl.
I was gonna bring
Largest owl?
On the East Coast, not in the United States.
And who's the largest?
Great
Yeah.
gray,
Yeah.
and then I think the snowy, and then the great horn.
Wow. Over here.
Hi.
Everybody wants that.
Ronnie's not a dog.
There's actually a news day a few months ago. Really good picture of him. Yeah.
Oh, a couple weeks ago, actually, when they talked about
Oh, yeah?
anniversary date of TR.
It's been in there a couple times.
Oh, has it? Okay, because it was recent also.
Yeah.
With his mouth open.
Yeah, he hisses.
Why does he do this thing? Is he not
He's a
happy?
little stressed.
Oh. All these
Crowd.
pictures.
Got the paparazzi staring at him. He feels like Britney Spears.
Aw.
So,
Sorry.
Okay.
Over here.
Might be
They're
away.
surrounding me.
Look into the eyes of that owl. Wow.
Yeah.
That is some bird. At the Theodore Roosevelt Nature Sanctuary.
Wrong way.
Looking behind him now.
Don't pay
Yeah,
him
right.
any mind. Look over here.
They can turn their head 270 degrees.
Well, let's give us an example of that, you know.
He's only got eyes for you.
Wow.
demonstration.
Whoa.
Nice.
He looks upset. He's like, okay, too many cameras. From Reflective Moments, time is the coin of your life. It is the only coin you have, and only you can determine how it will be spent. Be careful lest you let others spend it for you. That's from a book called Reflective Moments.
Looking at you.
Maybe you should come to the other side.
Oh, sure, now he can.
Huh? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, this is great. This is great.
And we're shooting each other. We're a big circle.
Could have been colder. You're right. It's great. I don't know. Something would be fine with the rain.
Yeah, it's too hot and fuzzy.
The Great Horned Owl. I like that. Kind of nice name. And a pretty bird.
Alright. We're gonna finish the owl up here.
Okay, so the owl walk is done. They have some interesting things indoors here. What is your wingspan? So how far is the walk? Do you know?
I have no idea.
You don't know? Oh, turtles. They're pretty. So it's more than just birds here. It's all kinds of nature. Gorgeous turtles. And some are still outside. We're going to join the walk.
Additional birds kind of over by our feeders. This is one of the best places of the sanctuary to see the birds. But as we walk, we'll definitely hear and hopefully see birds flying. We have a couple ponds we can look at. There's not much life going on right now because they're all frozen. Okay, so you can follow me up. We'll do a quick loop. And any questions, anything you want to ask me, just feel free to ask.
Wait till take the zoom off this camera.
Whose is this?
Somebody already.
We're at the Theodore Roosevelt Nature Sanctuary. I think we'll catch up with them in a few minutes. A walk through the woods with Superbooks. Watch out for the roots. Very heavy roots over here. Reminds me of North Carolina.
This is our meadow here. This is just an area that we cleared out. They cleared out a number of years ago, and we continue to clear. We're just trying to create kind of a different habitat to attract different birds. There's just not much going on here in the winter, but in the spring it gets really pretty in this area. We get a lot of little flowers.
Hello. This is a walk through the woods with Superbooks, and we're at the Theodore Roosevelt Nature Sanctuary. Any questions? Write to superbooks7@yahoo.com. Or check the website. Go online and check the website of the Theodore Roosevelt Nature Sanctuary. It's in Long Island. Okay, so where's the rest of the group? They're up front somewhere. Some of them behind us, and some of them in front of us. Let's go catch up. Whoa, these leaves are slippery even though they're not wet. Watch out, the leaves are slippery even though they're dry.
Oh, the mill pond over in Oyster Bay is really good. When I spoke for Old Swap, they changed the name of that because some Native American
Right now, I'm not even looking at the camera, just trying to catch up.
Old Swap.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what do they call that now?
Well, see, there's about 7 or 8 people in front of us and 7 or 8 people behind us. So we're sort of in the middle of the trail. In the middle of the trail pack. Trying to keep an eye on the ground rather than the camera. Because it's kind of slippery. Uphill, downhill, over large roots. You have to see these roots. Enormous roots in the ground. Yeah, it looks like an outhouse. Kind of fancy. It actually looks kind of fancy one.
Storage shed.
That's what I was gonna say. Fancy. Okay, these are too slippery. We're going this way.
They have a nice warm bathroom inside.
Not if you've ever used one in the winter time.
How about using one in the middle of the night in the middle of the woods?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've done that.
Me too.
Walking out about 40 feet from the house.
Done that up in the Catskills at a place we go camping.
Uh-huh. That hike took us in a complete circle right back to where we started. By this big tree and the bird sanctuary. Let's leave the sanctuary. One last look at one beautiful bird. Because they're nature, are they rescued or what?
Yeah, people had them illegally.
Oh, so this
And they
turtle is
can't be
illegal? What
released.
kind of a turtle is this?
They're box turtles. They're protected. You can't have them as pets.
Years ago they weren't protected though, right?
And now they
Like in the
are,
60s or the 70s?
Because
So when did they become protected?
It's a good question. I think it was the late 70s. I'm not
So what about the
sure.
ones that are selling in the pet shops? You see box turtles?
You don't see Eastern box turtles. You see
Oh.
like Malaysian or Asian.
So this is an
box
eastern
turtles.
box turtle with this particular kind of shell.
That's an Eastern box turtle. Yeah.
Wow. So the Malaysian ones are legal, and what
Yeah.
else? Anything from another country is what you're saying, or no?
Pretty much.
Wow.
I'm
that's
sure there
interesting.
are ones that are protected in other countries. That
Birds for today. The sanctuary. We're over at Young's Memorial Cemetery. We're going to take a little tour here. An unofficial tour. And see what we come across. Young's Memorial Cemetery first set aside as a burial ground in 1658, incorporated, March 26, 1900. Oh, follow the main path to steps, President Theodore Roosevelt's grave site. Okay, let's follow the steps and see what it leads us to. These are some of the grave markings in this cemetery.
So that would be like a decent exposure because it's the humpers and the grave.
An interesting little cemetery. The steps. The funeral of Theodore Roosevelt. January 8th, 1919. They went right up these steps. Wow. In the long fight for righteousness, the watchword for all of us is spend and be spent. Theodore Roosevelt. I'm not 100% sure that I know what that means. But we're going upstairs because this looks interesting. This is a fireman's grave because there's the plaque. Well, it looks like a fireman's hat on it. An emblem. An American flag. And a grave. This is Theodore Roosevelt's gravestone. With a Christmas wreath on it.
I never used the landscape.
So you don't have to go to Washington to see a president's grave. You can see it right here in New York. Inside the grave, there's a plaque that says, Theodore Roosevelt said, keep your eyes on the stars and keep your feet on the ground. Now I like that. That's good advice. This stone appears to be from 1891. This is the Superbooks Show, where you'll see almost anything. We go from a bird sanctuary, a nature sanctuary, to a graveyard. And this stone is from Caleb Willard Roosevelt. I stopped here because I wanted to read what it says on here. If I ask you to join me in the silver etchings of the moon, will you know me? As I offer you this wonder, cupped in both my hands with reverence and a little irony, accept as gently and leave me space to shy in and rear and return with less fear. Caleb Willard Roosevelt, 1982. In memory of Major Quentin Roosevelt II. Okay, so we're going to be leaving the cemetery. We've had a nice day. This has been a Superbooks Show, looking at the nature cemetery, the nature sanctuary, and the cemetery where Theodore Roosevelt is buried, all in New York. For information about anything, write for our free newsletter. Write to superbooks7@yahoo.com. Ask for our newsletter. Put newsletter in the subject line. We'll take one last look at the cemetery. I'll give you this view. You can go up those steps. That's where the funeral procession went up when they buried Theodore Roosevelt. And you can come down the hill over there. Filming from New York. We hope you had a good week and a good weekend. And if you're interested in being in the audience or a guest on the show, if you're interested in being an audience in any of our studio shows, write to us at superbooks7@yahoo.com. If you'd like our free newsletter, send us an email to superbooks7@yahoo.com, and we will answer you. from the cemetery where Theodore Roosevelt is buried in New York. This has been a Superbooks show. When I saw the movie Schindler's List, well, there was a part of the movie where everyone took stones and placed them in a particular place. And I don't know why these stones are placed here by the tree, but it just kind of reminded me of that. Here in the cemetery, a tree with all these stones, different colored, different size stones placed right at the bottom of the tree. Please watch our other Superbooks shows and let us know if you'd like to see something different. Would you like to see sports, music, current affairs? Just write to us and let us know. Your opinion is important. The magnificent stones and gravestones in here. This one kind of brought my attention. Something small. Looks like a lamb and a cross. A very small stone. Frederick A. Combs, Jr. September 25th, 1919. Died 19... Oh, I'm sorry, that was 1910. Died January 1911. It says, "Our darling." So we're on the way back to the city after having a beautiful day at the Nature Sanctuary and after seeing the cemetery. We hope you enjoyed this show of Superbooks, and we hope you write to us at superbooks7@yahoo.com. Whatever you'd like to see on the show, why don't you write to us and let us know. Give us some ideas. Perhaps you'd like to be a guest, or maybe an audience member in one of our studio shows. Write to superbooks7@yahoo.com. Thank you for watching the Superbooks Show.